我是阿万。一起来看一下新闻分析特朗普的政治麻烦，一个不留活口的国防部长。自今年初以来，在参议院凭借副总统 J.D. 万斯打破僵局的一票惊险通过任命以来，国防部长皮特·海格塞斯一直是特朗普总统的政治麻烦。他挺过了 Signal 聊天泄露事件，尽管事情已经很清楚，他曾将机密作战计划复制粘贴到一个有加密但非机密等级的消息链中。他将矛头指向媒体，开始将新闻机构赶出五角大楼新闻发布室，并坚持要求记者签署承诺书，保证绝不报道任何未经其公共事务办公室批准的新闻。那几乎是无人签署该承诺书，甚至连他曾经供职的福克斯新闻也没有签。那如今海格塞斯执掌五角大楼的政治代价是进一步上升，随着针对委内瑞拉近海致数十人死亡的空袭是否合法的调查是不断增加，对于他那种斩草除根、不留活口的方式，甚至连共和党支持者都要求给出解释。到目前为止，官方回应寥寥。随着越来越多的指控称海格塞斯的命令可能导致战争罪的发生，如果不是部长本人下令，那就是高级指挥官根据他的总体指示行事。特朗普上周末的表态听起来像是在与自己的国防部长保持距离。上周日傍晚，特朗普表示无法认同首次打击快艇后的幸存者实施二次打击的命令。皮特说他没下令杀死那两人，总统说道，并补充我100%相信他。特朗普还强调我不会赞成那样做，不应该有第二次打击。不过当特朗普在空军1号回应关于他的国防部长在委内瑞拉行动中是否跨越法律红线的问题时，这位国防部长却在社交媒体上拿此事开玩笑。上周日，海格塞斯发布了一张梗图，来自一个童书系列的乌龟富兰克林正从直升机上向一艘满载货物的船只开火，供诸位圣诞心愿参考清单参考。海格塞斯在社交媒体上写道：“这个玩笑搞砸了，招致如潮批评，连保守派社媒账号也加入声讨。文明人尊重上帝赋予的生命，无论其生前干了多么卑劣的事情，都不该轻率夺取生命。”一位用户在海格塞斯的帖子下回应道：“这张梗图毫无基督精神，纯粹是嗜血狂欢。”尽管白宫新闻秘书卡罗琳·莱维特与其他美国高级官员声称海格塞斯并未具体授权第二次打击，但国防部长本人在公开声明中并未明确否认。在发给记者的电子邮件中，海格塞斯再次沿用惯常说辞抨击假新闻，称其正在炮制更多捏造的煽动性、贬损性的报道，抹黑那些保卫国土的英勇战士。在回应中，海格塞斯并未明确表示他没有下令杀死船上所有人，只是说我们的既定目标是阻止致命毒品，摧毁贩毒船只，消灭那些正在毒害美国人民的毒品恐怖分子。他在一篇社交媒体帖子中补充说：“我们击毙的每一名贩运者都与认定的恐怖组织有关联。”为了强调他的观点，他在另一篇帖子中写道：“我们剿灭毒贩恐怖分子的行动才刚刚开始。”他这种更加强硬的态度是引人注目，因为自从针对快艇的致命打击行动开始3个月以来，多数法律学者都认为这些袭击极有可能是非法的， 即便是毒品走私者也是平民，因此不应该成为军事力量的打击目标。截至8月，即便是特朗普政府处理此类船只的方式也是由海外警卫队在海军支持下实施拦截并逮捕船上人员，若需开火也只是为了击毁船只引擎。显然，海格塞斯对这样的建议非常敏感。亚利桑那州参议员、退役海军飞行员马克·凯利和其他国会民主党人曾提醒美国士兵有责任拒绝非法命令，杀害平民便是其中的典型。为此，海格塞斯竟下令调查凯利是否应被召回现役，并接受军事法庭审判。凯利在上周日的会见媒体节目上重申了自己的观点，他警告那些收到非法命令的军人，不仅不必遵从，法律更要求他们必须拒绝这样的命令。他补充道：“我说的东西非常简单，并不具争议性。”而特朗普却说我应该被绞死、处决、起诉。皮特·海格塞斯说我应该被军事法庭审判。这有多荒唐？他继续质疑道：“我们说遵守法律，而这就是他们的回应。”随后他又强调，皮特·海格塞斯不是个正经人。事实上，总统把那些呼吁军人遵守法律的人称为叛徒，同时他也坚称自己仍然支持这位国防部长。海格塞斯的任期特点是冲突不断、失误频繁，其引发的混乱程度在国防部，他现称之为战争部，过去几十年的历史中是绝无仅有的。2月，他在担任国防部长首次访欧期间发表的言论似乎偏向俄罗斯在乌克兰战争中的立场，激怒了欧洲盟友，以至于参议院军事委员会主席、来自密西西比州的共和党参议员罗杰威克称他的表现是菜鸟级错误。3月，海格塞斯在加密通讯软件 Signal 聊天中泄露了美军在也门打击行动的飞行调度机密。4月，他带入五角大楼的3名团队成员因涉嫌未经授权信息而遭指控，并被带离大楼。他当时的首席发言人指责海格塞斯背信弃义且无能。到6月，特朗普政府开始对伊朗核设施发动空袭时，海格塞斯已基本被排除在作战指挥体系之外。特朗普和白宫直接与时任美军中央司令部司令迈克尔·埃里克·库里拉上将以及参谋长联合主席会议主席丹·凯恩上将对接。同样，当特朗普上月需要五角大楼官员协助重启俄乌可能达成和平协议谈判时，他选择的是陆军部长丹尼尔·德里斯科尔，而非国防部长海格塞斯。德里斯科尔与副总统万斯关系密切，常被视作国防部长职位若出现空缺时的热门人选。但海格塞斯对委内瑞拉杀戮行动倾注了全部热情，频繁在社交媒体发布据称是贩毒集团船只被炸毁的视频。在上周日发布的社交媒体梗图中，乌龟富兰克林站在直升机的起落架上，咧嘴笑着，手臂上画着美国国旗，身穿装载弹药的背心，用肩扛式发射器发射火箭弹。与此同时，军事委员会主席威克与该委员会的首席民主党议员罗德岛参议员杰克里德表示，已就9月2日的委内瑞拉打击向国防部提出质询。他们在上周五声明中写道：“我们将进行严格监督，以查明相关事实。”其实好像还 蛮多就是一部分的美国 IP 有在看这个频道的。那你们谈谈吧。那我就继续读英语。For Trump, he says take no prisoners approach is growing liability. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has been a political problem for President Trump since his confirmation in the Senate earlier this year, which he survived thanks to a Signal tie-breaking broadcast by Vice President J.D. Vance. He survived the leaked Signal chat episode, even when it became clear he had copied classified battle plans and posted them into an encrypted but unclassified messaging chain. He burned the press, began kicking news organizations out of the Pentagon press room, and insisted they sign a plea never to seek news not approved by his public affairs officers. Almost no one signed, not even his previous employee, Fox News. Now the political price of Mr. Hegseth's tenure at the Pentagon has increased, and investigations mouth into the legality of strikes that have killed scores of people in the waters of Venezuela. His take no prisoners, leave no survivors approach has led even Republican supporters to demand answers. So far, few have been forthcoming, with claims flying that Mr. Hegseth's orders might have led to the commission of war crimes, if not by the secretary, then by senior commanders following his general orders. Mr. Trump sounded over the weekend like he was putting some distance between himself and his defense secretary. On Sunday morning, Mr. Trump said he would not have been comfortable with orders to kill the survivors of the first strike on the fast-running boat. Pete said he did not order the death of those two men. The president said, he added, I believe him 100%. Mr. Trump also said, I wouldn't have wanted that, nor a second strike. But even as Mr. Trump was answering questions about Air Force One about whether his defense secretary had stepped over the legal lines with the Venezuela killings, the same defense secretary was on social media cracking jokes about the affair. Mr. Hegseth posted a memo on Sunday depicting Franklin the turtle from a children's book series finding a weapon at a vessel laden with cargo from a helicopter. For your claimers with this, Mr. Hegseth wrote on social media, the joke fell flat, eliciting a storm of criticism, including from conservative social media users. Civilized people respect life given by God and don't treat lightly taking of life, no matter how violent that life was used. One user wrote reply to Mr. Hegseth's post. That member was far from Christian, it was broad stars. And while Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, and other senior U.S. officials said Mr. Hegseth did not specifically assure a second strike, Mr. Hegseth did not make an explicit denial in his own public statements. In an email to reporters, Mr. Hegseth resorted to his usual rating against fake news, which he said was delivering more fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory reporting to discredit our incredible warriors fighting to protect their homeland. Now, here in his response, did Mr. Hegseth actually say that he had not ordered that everyone aboard the vessel be killed? Rather, he said that declared intent is to stop vessel drugs, destroy narco boats, and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people. Every trafficker we killed is affiliated with a designated terrorist organization, he added in a social media post. To drive home, he wrote an other post, "We have only just begun to kill narrow terrorists." His double down was notable because in the Philippines, since the leisure targeting of the fast boats began, most legal scholars have concluded that the attacks are most likely illegal. Even drug runners are civilians that should not appropriate targets for military force. Through August, even the Trump administration dealt with the boats by having the Coast Guard, backed up by the Navy, interdict the boats and arrest those abroad. If they opened fire, it was to take out the boat's engines. Clearly, Mr. Hegseth is sensitive about such suggestions. When Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, a retired Navy pilot, and other Democratic members of Congress reminded American troops of their responsibility to ignore illegal orders, killing civilians would be a classic example. Mr. Hegseth ordered up an investigation into whether Mr. Kelly should be recalled to service and made to stand for a court material. Mr. Kelly reiterated his statements on Meet the Press on Sunday, warning service members who receive illegal orders that not only do they not have to follow them, they are legally required not to follow such orders. I said something very simple and non-controversial, he added. And Donald Trump said, I should be hanged, executed, prosecuted. Pete Hegseth said that I should be court-martialed. How ridiculous is this? He continued. We say, follow the law, and this is their response. He added later, Peter Hegseth is not a serious person. The president has, in fact, referred to those who have called for the service member to follow the law as traitors, and he has maintained that his defense secretary still have his support. The tenure of Mr. Hegseth has been characterized by conflict, missteps, and a run of chaos that is unmatched in the recent history of Defense Department, which he is now called the Department of War. In February, during his first trip to Europe as Defense Secretary, his remark that appealed to favor Russia in the war with Ukraine so infuriated European allies that Senator Dr. Wicker. The Mississippi Republican who did the Armed Services Committee called his performance a rookie mistake. In March, Mr. Hegseth disclosed the classified flights sequencing for American strikes in Yemen in the Signal thread. In April, 3 members of the teams he brought with him into the Pentagon were accused of leaking unauthorized information and escorted from the building. His top spokesman at the time accused Mr. Hegseth of disloyalty and incompetence. By the time the Trump administration launched American airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities in June, Mr. Hegseth was largely out of the operational picture. Mr. Trump and the White House were dealing directly with General Michael E. Kurula, then the commander of United States Central Command, and General Dan Kainer, the chairman of the Joint Chief of the Staff. Similarly, when Mr. Trump needed someone at the Pentagon to try to restart negotiations for the possible peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine, he turned the response to Daniel Disco, the Army Secretary, instead of his Defense Secretary, Mr. Hegseth. Mr. Disco is close to Mr. Vance and often considered a likely candidate for Defense Secretary should the job open, but Mr. Hegseth has been all in on the managerial killings, regularly tending his video on social media for early Jack Cater bros, meaning brought up. In his social media post on Sunday, Franklin, the turtle, stands on the landing skis of the helicopter with a grin, with American flags drawn on his arm and artillery bells as he fires a rocket from a shoulder-held launcher. Meanwhile, Senator Wicker, the Mississippi Republican, and Joe Reed of the Rhode Island, the Armed Services Committee top Democrat, said they had directly inquiries to the Defense Department on the September 2 managerial strikes. We will be conducting vigorous oversight, they wrote on Friday, to determine the facts related to these